Hello there, everybody. I am Rusty. This is Rusty's Sudoku stream. We have 2 scheduled puzzles, and I've got a paused puzzle here that I'm going to ignore. We're at an hour and 3 minutes in it, and wipe to the starting point. I will re-enter that, assuming I get through the puzzles we've got for today. All right, first one is another easy puzzle. That's what I had problems with yesterday. So there is no guarantee that I will get through this puzzle. Could do my best, but this is actually yesterday. I was going, looks awful familiar. Yeah, I did select the right one for that. All right. One of my favorite features of the ebook reader or audio book reader that I was using, or a version of it, was it kept track of the furthest along in the audiobook that you'd gotten. And you could tell it to go to that location if you ended up getting brought to the beginning of the book or some other similar situation. Which would be kind of nice here. Basically, I have a PDF viewer that occasionally I end up hitting the scroll bar and it drags me to the point in the scroll bar where I nailed the scroll bar. And considering we're very close to the end of this PDF of a portion of the book, that means as they're usually around the middle or above, and I've got a long ways to go. All right. Hitting the checkbox, you get 20 seconds or so to get started. If it's good, it's good. So. Caffeine, an interesting substance. Turns out it doesn't actually keep you awake or make you more alert or anything like that. It has an effect that seems like that, but really what's going on, oh, and I'm going to start now, is that what caffeine does is it suppresses a signal that your body has tell you that you should get some sleep. You need to be tired, or you should be tired. Okay, nothing else for ones at this point. Twos, I got a 2 here. And unfortunately, I've got 4 possible 2s there, 3 possible here. All that's open. 5 possible here. 5 possible here. Everything's open down here. 3 possible here. And everything open here. Freeze. Basically, when you've been awake for a period of time, your body sends a signal saying, hey, you need to get some sleep. And if you ignore it, many people do, you get the effect of being feeling like you're more and more tired. And eventually, you will fall asleep if you're just ignoring the signal. All right, freeze. Just had a soft tangent there with sevens. Again, we're not getting anything there or here. 3 possibilities there, 3 possibilities here, and no control over these. 5 possibilities on both sides here, no control over the other. All right, 4s. We got a 4 here. Currently, we've got 5 possible 4s here, 2 possible 4s here, 3 possible 4s here and here, and we've got 4 possible 4s. All right, 5. So we get 2 possible 5s here. This one is blocking this, and these are all blocked. So one of these two, this one's a 5. We get a 5 and one of these 3 here. One of these 3 here is a 5. And obviously I've got 5 possibilities here. Maybe not obviously. This one blocks these. Down here we've got 5s all over the place. 6s. We get to solve a 6 here. One of these two is a 6. I've got 4 or 3 possible 6s here. And 2 possible 6s, although 1 6 here, which means one of these two is a 6. And this can't be a 6 because it's locked into 1 and 8. If you notice, 8 and 1 here, 8 and 1 here. They have to be in the middle here, and those are the only 2 places it can be. All right, 7, or no, yep, 7s. We get 3 possible there, 2 possible 7s here, which means that's a 7. We're down to 2 possible 7s here. It does mean that one of these 2 is a 7. And down here, we've got 6 possible, or no, 4 possible here until we get one of these 2 solved. All right, 8. Get an 8 here, an 8 here, an 8 here. That means one of these 2 is an 8. And we've got 3 possible places for an 8 here, 3 here, 3 here. Up here, we've got 3 possibilities. No, we've got 2 possibilities, and they're marked. Oh, hey. If that's a 6, which is, oh, no, and then 1 8, both. Okay. So yeah, we've got to figure out these 3, these 2, and these 3, as well as and these 2. All right, 9s. So 2 possible 9s here, but it's only going to be 1 because the other was going to be here, but we've got a 9 down at the bottom. So one of these 3 is a 9. One of these, this one is a 9 because this 9 here is blocking this one up here. That means one of these 3 is a 9. We'll go with one of these 3. And let's see, this is going to be a 9. So we've got 2 possibilities here. That's really about it. All right. C. So we got a 1 8 pair here. So, and 2 other places left. One of these is going to be a 2. One is going to be a 3. Because then we got a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Here we've got 7 4 pair here. One is going to be one of these 5. 2 is going to be one of these 4. 3 is going to be one of these 5. 4 is going to be one of these 2. 5 is going to be one of these 3. 6 will be one of the, nope, we got a 6 here. 7's here, 8. And one of these 3 is going to be a 9. I am at the point of thinking, let's go ahead and start treating this as a flood fill. We got 1 here. One of these 3 will be a 2, and one will be a 3. 2, 3, 2, 3. Nothing in here interferes with those choices, and that also means this is going to be a 2, 3. And obviously, since the numbers didn't turn red, we got nothing blocking them. All right, here we can drop a 2 into either of these. A 3 can go there. What else are we missing? It looks like we're missing a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. But we're doing flood fill. So in here, we got a 2, 3 there, 2, 3 possible there, 2, 3 possible here. This can't be 2 or 3. I've got a 1, 2, 3's all over the place. 4, 5, 6 is an option here. And it won't be this one, so one of these 2 is a 6. One of these 2 is a 7, 8, and 9, so this is a 6. That's not, that is. All right, 2, 3 there, 7 here. That means one of these 2, this one's going to be a 7. That'll be a 4, that's a 7. Let's see, anything else we can do with this? So one of these 3 is an 8. Oh, 1. Is everything... Could potentially be a 1. 2's. Looks like I've got kind of open on 2's and 3's. Four, 5, 6, 7. One of these is 8, 9. Okay. Here we've got 4 possibilities for a 1. One of these 2 will be a 2, because one of these 2 is going to be a 2. Yeah, that might be a problem. We're going to let me clear this. 2, 3, not 1, 2, 3, 7, 7 here. All right. So now this can also be a 3 here, so all 3 of these can be a 3. Get a 4 here. One of these 3 is a 4. Actually, one of these 2. Because one of these 2 has to be a 4, this one. Which means this can't be a 4. Get a 5, 6, 7. 8 is going to be in here. Can't be in either of these, so one of these 3 is an 8, and we've got a 9. Here we've got two possibilities for 1. How about a 2? And all of these can potentially be a 2, and all of these could potentially be a 3. until we get that narrowed down up here. All right. So 4 possibilities for, or 5 possibilities for 1. 5 possibilities for 2. I'm seeing 5 possibilities for 3 at the moment. Two possibilities. Nope. Solve for 4. And real quick, one of these two will be a 4 now. Bunch of possibilities for a 5. 5 of them, in fact. We have a 6 already and a 7. One of these two is an 8. And now we've got 9s to drop in. And that can't be a 7. Oh. I had specified this as a 7. That's why that couldn't be a 7. All right. 9s. We got one of these two is a 9. We got 8 locked in. And this, it cannot be a 2, so it's a 3. So now we can clean up the 3s. That can't be a 4. So that makes that a 4. That makes this a 4, not a 4 here. Not a 3 here, that's a 2. So these two can't be 2s, neither can this one. 5, 2, 3, that's fine. 1, 3, 1, 3. Okay, 1, 3. Well, let's see if we can fill in here. So I've got 4 possibilities for a 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 possibilities for a 5. 6, 7 is going to be one of these two. 8 is going to be one of these two. Okay, that can't be an 8. So that's an 8. That's not, that is. 9 is going to be one of these 3. Over here, we get to finish this out. We got 1, 2s, and 3s potentially here. 3 is not a possibility here because of the 3 here. So one of these two becomes a 3. We've got 4 possible 2s. Ooh. Yeah. 2 3s are going to be over here, so 2 and 3 don't belong there. We can put, oh, can't put a 3 here. 1s, 2s, 3, 4, about 5s. Looks like I've got 3 places to put a 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3 places to 9. All right. Ah, 1, 8, 1, 8. So yeah, no 1s or 8s everywhere in between. There's an 8 here. One of these has to be a 1. 7 we've got here. Anything else I need to worry about here? 1s possibly. Nope. Can't be 1 because we got a 1 there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got a earmark for 8 and 9. So yes, this is a 7. That's not a 7. That is a 7. That's not a 7. Now we got a 2, 3 pair here, which means this is an 8. Not an 8 here, not an 8 here. This is a 1. We get to clean up those 1s. Yeah, we don't have any 1s up here. 2, 3 pairs here. 1, 5, 9 triplet here. 1 here, so we can clean up these 1s. That means this is a 3, this is a 1. We can clean up this is a 2 and a 3 here. So this becomes an 8, this becomes a 2, this becomes a 3. And then up here, this becomes a 1. 8 here. Okay, 1, 9. So, yeah, 5's going to be up in, what are these? Yeah, interesting. Not unusual, or not unexpected. Just to beep a little bit. Okay, 3, 2, 3. No, not a 1 here. No. Instead of 2, we have 2 and 5 here, 2 and 5 here. This becomes a 3. So not a 3 here, 2 here, 5 here, 2 here, 3 here, 2 here, 3 down here. Okay, now I've got a 1, 9 pair here. This 5 says that can't be a 5. This is going to be a 9. That becomes a 1, so neither of these can be a 1. Neither of these can be a 1. 5, 9 pair there. 9s no longer belong in here. Neither does a 3 from that up there. So this one becomes a 3. We got a 5, 2. That can't be a 2. That's a 5 now. That makes this a 9, this a 1, this a 9. This becomes a 5. This becomes a 2 and a 1 here. Hey, 20 minutes. A little longer than I like. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. All right. Now we try 767 medium. I've got that over here. Loading in. And that is a rotationally complete puzzle. Let's validate it, and 20 seconds still for you. That I don't look at it. See, that's done. All right. There we go, 20 seconds. So one of these two is a 1. That means one of these two is a 1. We've got 4 possibilities here, 5 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here. All 5 of these are open, and 5 possibilities here. 8 2s. I've got 8 2 on the board. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll come back to 2s later, once maybe we've narrowed things down. 3 here and here means one of these two is a 3. That makes this one a 3. And these two will be a 3. I've got 3 possibilities here, but 2 possibilities here. And one of these two will be a 3, so that's not, that is, that one of these two is now a 3. Okay. 4, we've got 3 possibilities of a 4 there. 5 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here. All 4 of these are possible. And all 7 of these. And up here we've got 7 possibilities. So 4s are not going to be much more use than 2s. 5. We get a 5 here, a 5 here. 4 possibilities of a 5 here. 3 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. Down to 2 possibilities here, which narrows this down to 2 possibilities here. Over here, one of these two is a 5, so that means this is a 5. Okay. Still have 3 possibilities here, 4 over on the other side, and 4 possibilities here. Go with these. All right, 6s. Got a 6 here, another 6 here, which means this is a 6. That means none of these can be a 6 on either side. We end up with 3 possibilities for a 6 there, and 4 possibilities over here. One of these 3 is a 6. We got a 6 here, which means I got 3 possibilities here. 6 or 4 possibilities here in the corner. That's all I can do at this point. Let's go on to 7s. I've got 2 possibilities for a 7 here. 2 possibilities for a 7 here. 2 possibilities for a 7 here. Let's see. Up here I've got 3 possibilities. Here I've got 3 possibilities. Here I've got, this one gets to be a 7. That means this is not, and this is, which narrows this one down to 2 possibilities. Still have 3 possibilities here. All right, put 8. An 8 here and an 8 here. So one of these two is an 8. These can't be 8 because of this. That leaves us with 3 possibilities for an 8 here. 2 possibilities for an 8 here. And it looks like we get an 8 here. So on to 9s. I've got 2 possibilities for a 9 here, because this blocks these 2, and this one blocks these. Up over here, we've got 2 possibilities, which means that's not a 9, that is. One of these 3 will be a 9, don't know which yet, but one of these 2 is a 9. Over here, this is a 9, so that's not, that is, and that means one of these 2 is a 9. Over here, these 2 are blocked down here. This one blocks this, so we've got 4 possibilities here, 2 possibilities here. All right. Now let's take a look at the rest of these. We got the one, or we went through the ones already. 2s, I've got 3 possibilities for a 2 here. One of these 3 is a 2. That makes this a 2. And we can now solve this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember I said 4s weren't being much more useful than 2s? We get both of them this time. All right. Over here, one of these 2 is a 4. I've got 3 possibilities for 2, but 3 possibilities for a 1 as well. What I do know, though, is that these can't be 1s, so it's not blocking these. I don't know about these yet. 4 possibilities there. Then, let's see. 3 possibilities for 1 here. 4 possibilities for 1 here. And 4 possibilities for 1 here. 2s. Again, we get one of these 3 as a 2. 4 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here. That 2 there gives me 3 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here, and we end up with 3 possibilities here. And over here we've got all 6 of these yet. And 6 of these. 3s. 2 possibilities there, 2 possibilities here. Solve here. Wait. Oh, and here with 2 possibilities here and 2 possibilities here. All right, 4s. We picked up a pair of possible 4s here. Solve 4 here. So these can't be a 4. These can't be a 4. This can't be a 4. So one of these 2 is a 4. Here I've got 3 possibilities. Ooh, yeah, 4, 7 there. Okay. Here we've got 4 possibilities. Still 3 possibilities here. Ooh, that means I've got 3 possibilities of 4 here. Take a look at this. One of these up in this, that has to be a 1, so that can't be a 1. Makes that a 1. This is 3, this is 4. We got a 5, 9 pair here, so that makes that a 7, not a 7 here. And that makes this a 2. So one of these 2 is a 2. And that makes this one into a 4, doesn't it? Okay, so now we've got 2 possibilities for 4 down. All right, and I've got 2 possibilities for 4 here. Besides that, this becomes a 3, so we can clean up that 3 there. That help down here? Nope. Well, down here we're all taken care of for 3s. Let's see. So one of these 2 is a 1. What about 2s? Still have, oh, one of these 2 is a 2. The 1s and 2s here. We got 5 and a 9 possible here. Not the only place they're both possible. Both of these down here can be a 5 and a 9. It'd be nice if we could narrow that down a little bit, but Let's see what we can do. Maybe we've got some help down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 possibilities is 6. 2 for a 7, 2 for a 9. 8 is on the board. Okay. This becomes an 8, though. So clean up that. We end up with 2 possibilities for an 8 here. Let's see. Still have 3 possibilities for a 1. 3 possibilities for a 2. Okay, 3 here. 3 possibilities for 4. 5s, we've got 1, 2, 3 possibilities for a 5. 6s, I'm showing 3 possibilities for these 2 and this one, except it's going to be one of these 2. This one won't be a 6, it's going to be over here. One of these 2. One of these 2 is a 7, 8, and a 9. Okay. Again, 1s, 2s. It'd be nice if I could narrow that down a little. All right, over here, I've got 4 possibilities for a 1. Unfortunately, everything is still open for 2. Got 3 possibilities for 2 there. Got 2 for 3 here and here. Working with this one up here. Working with this here. And this here. So just those 2 for 3. 4 is already listed. 5. One of these 4 is a 5. Right? That goes with the 2 down here. That could be a 5. That's 6. So we got a 6 up here. Another one here. So one of these 2 is a 6. Got a 7. One of these 2 is an 8. All right, looks like I need to flood in the rest. 1s, 2, 3, 4s, 5, 6. This one's going to be a 7. So 1 4 here, not a 4 here. This is a 4. Besides the 1 and the 4, we've got a 2 that can be dropped in there. And that means that's a 1 here. And we end up with 5, 9 there. All right. So 2s, not a lot of help with that. But 1 4's here. Let's flood in the rest here. We got 1s and 2s, a 3, 4s, 5s, 6s. Okay, 6s are going to be down here. 3 possibilities. 7 and 8, and then 3 possibilities for 9. Like that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 possibilities for 6. Yep. 7 and 9 are the other 2. Over here we've got 4 possibilities for 1. 3 possibilities for 2. 2 possibilities for 3. 2 possibilities for 4. 2 possibilities for 5. We've got 4 possibilities for 6. Moment. Got a 7, 8, and a 9 all on the board already. So here we've got 4 possibilities for 1. 3 possibilities for a 2. That means I've only got 2 possibilities for 2 here. We got 2 possibilities for 3 listed here. 4 is given. And I'm going to mark 4 possibilities for 5. Got 6s, 7, 8, and a 9. Okay. Now we get to fill in over here. 2 possibilities for 1. 2 for 2, a 3. 2 for 4. Okay, this can't be a 1, that's a 1. That can't be a 5, so this is a 5. These 2 are not. That's a 5. 7, 4. Can't be a 7 here. Can be. Oh, can't be a 7 here. This is going to be a 7, so this is not a 7. We get a 9, 6 pair here. So these 2 can't be 6. We have 2 possibilities there. 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 6, 5, 6. 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 9, 6, 9, 6. And that means this is a 7, this is a 4. So not a 4 here, this is a 4. That can't be, or we had a 5, 9 that needed to be here, so this becomes 9, 1, 9. This becomes a 5, this is a 9. That makes this a 6. We had a 1, 2 pair here, 8, 2 pair here. All right. That one there says this is a 2, this is a 1, that makes this a 2, this is 6. This is a 9, this is a 6. And let's see what else we can do. Okay. Nothing helpful there. Oh, these 2 can't be 1, so that turns that into a 2. Let me validate that. 1, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yes, this is a 2. We can clean up these 2 2s. We also now have a 5, 3 pair here. So this can't be a 5, this can't be a 5. That makes this a 6, so this can't be 6. I get a 1, 8 pair. A 2 pair up here, 5, 3 pair here. All right. Fix anything out down here. Well, this can't be a 2 now. Get a 2 here, blocked here. So this one gets to be a 2, not a 2 here. That makes this a 2. This is an 8. So not an 8 here. That becomes a 1. This is an 8. Okay. This is the only place left here for a 3. So this becomes a 5. This is a 3. This is a 5. 6, 1, 4, 1, 4. Hey, even better than the medium. 18 minutes, 50 seconds. All right. Give me a moment or two and we will pull up the earlier puzzle. I just need to note that it was 18 minutes, 50 seconds for this one. Okay, now I need to pull up the solution for 767. Easy. You're not going to see this unless you're following me on Blue Sky. I will be posting my times on the Fediverse, but the puzzle solutions I only solve or only post on Blue Sky. Not because I'm opposed to anybody learning what they are, just because I don't have a really good bit of luck with posting images there on Fediverse. And nobody really follows me there for Sudoku as far as I know. Maybe they do. All right. Grab this part, hit, apply to instance of Mastodon, apply to my earlier posting. All right. Now we were at an hour and 3 minutes. Puzzle 765. No, 766. So play again. I'm going to re-enter. This time, I'm not leaving any extra time for people. If you were watching yesterday, you would have seen the time I took, or the fact I've given you the opportunity. If you weren't watching yesterday, well, you missed it, right? So I'm not trying to be mean or anything, just we've got a puzzle to solve if I can. And yeah, according to yesterday, I can't. I want to see if I can change. Validate. All right. I'm going to flood fill from 9. Some of that means I answer or fill a 9. Some of it means I just put in potential 9s where they could be. Clean up these two because this is going to be a 9. And I've got 2 possibilities here. 8s. 8 there and there. One of these. Oh, that can't be an 8. So this is an 8. One of these two is an 8. I've got one of these. One of these two is an 8 because these are blocked, and I've got an 8 here. That makes this an 8. That's an 8. So I've got 2 possibilities there, and that means one of these two is an 8. 7. So I've got 4 possibilities for a 7 there, but this one won't be 3 possibilities. Here I've got 4 possibilities for 7, 3 possibilities for a 7, 3 possibilities for a 7, 4 here. These 4, say that over here, 7 has to be one of these 3. But that's all more than I can mark the way I mark them at this point. 6s. 5 possibilities here, 3, nope, 6 here. So 3 possibilities for a 6 here, 2 possibilities for a 6 here. Here I've got 5 possibilities. Let's see. I think I've got 6 possibilities here, 2 here. All right, 5s. One of these two is a 5. One of these two is a 5, not an 8. One of these two becomes a 5. This one is a 5. That can't be because of this. This one is going to be a 5. That's going to be a 6. That's not a 5. That is. That 6 means I've got 3 possibilities for 6 here. And 3 possibilities here now. All right, did we get anything else with those 5s? So we've got a pair here, pair up here. Nope, nothing else picked up with 5s or the 6s that we solved. Still have 2 8s down here. We are down to this one being a 7 though. So one of these two, besides being an 8, is a 7. And over here, this one becomes a 3. And we'll come up there, we'll deal with these two in just a moment. Actually, I can deal with 1 and 2 here. That means one of these two is a 2. And we're botching the process. 4s. So this gets to be a 4. Up here, I've got 4 possibilities and 4 possibilities down here. 3 possibilities here, but 2 of them are doubled already, so we get a 4 here, and now we're down to 2 possibilities for a 4 here. Don't have that solution here, but I do now only have 2 possibilities up here that can be a 4. But unfortunately, they don't narrow this down. 4 possibilities for a 4. How about 3s? And one of these 3 is a 3. Don't know which one yet. Down here, one of these two is a 3. This one becomes a 3. That means I've got 3 possibilities here. Oh, we've got 2 possibilities here. And that doesn't help me as much as I'd hope. These are blocked, but I now have 3 possibilities here. All right. How about over here? Did we finish anything else? One of these 3. Okay. 2. We got 2 possibilities marked here. 2 here and here. One of these 2 is going to be a 2, but it's going to be this one, not this one. And that means that this one gets to be a 3. One of these 2 will be a 1. We'll come back to that. One of these 2 is a 2. It's going to be this one. Got a 2 here. This is going to be a 2. One of these 2 is a 2. Okay. Now one of these 2 is a 1. One of them is not necessarily give the one I selected. One of these 3 is a 1. This won't be a 1. I end up with 4 possibilities. Actually, I don't really. I end up with 2 possibilities because this is blocked. None of these can be a 1 because there's dedicated places for them in those 2 columns at that top. All right. Over here, I've got 4 possibilities for 1 there, and 3 possibilities for 1. All right, 1, 4, 7, 8. Do we get any further help? Well, one of these 2 is an 8. One of these 2 is an 8. So yes, one of these 2 is an 8. And over here, one of these 2 is an 8. Not as much help as I was hoping for. 9s. These 2 is a 9. One of these 2 is a 9, so that's not. That is. Somebody's been yelling at me about that, I'm sure. Over here, one of these 2. No, these 2 is 9. And again, one of these two is. So one of these three is a 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. One of these three is a 6. Actually, one of these two, this one and this one, have the possibility of being a 6. How about 7? Looks like all three of these have the possibility of being a 7. Go to 8 and 9. Okay. Up here, 3 possibilities for a 1, not including this one. I get a 2 already in the row, same with the 3. 4 is going to be one of, can't be this one, so this one or these two. Two of the things that can't be here. We got a 5 and a 6. How about a 7? So one of these three is going to be a 7. Can't be here. Ooh. Here we've got 2 possibilities for a 7. Means 2 possibilities for a 7 here. Ones and 7s here. 2. One of these two is a 3 then. That makes this a 3. Fills out that. Alright. So now we're locked into the 1, 7 here. 3, 9 here. Makes this one into a 6. Up here we've got 2 possibilities for a 6 now. Still have 3 possibilities for a 1. 2, 3. One of these is going to be a 4. Okay. 5. And these is a 6. These is a 7, 8, and 9. We may be coming back to tidy up this a little bit. We'll see. Over here, I've got 3 possibilities for 1, 2, 3. One of these two is a 4. Okay. One of these two is a 4. We've got one of these two to be a 5. And one of these two is a 5 as well. 6 here. Can't be in here, can't be in here, so one of those two is a 6. One of these 4 is a 7. There for an 8, a 9. Okay. Besides the 8 and the 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, we get a 6. One of these two is a 6 to go with the 8s. So that's a 2. That's not. Now we're down to a 2 here. So besides the 5, this is supposed to be a 2. Not a 1. Okay. Besides the 5, we need a 3 in here. That's going to be a there. 4, got that 5, 6. So the last number to put in here is a 7. Okay. So that makes this an 8, not a 9. 8. And a 7. Okay. And that means this can't be an 8. That's an 8. Don't know that this is a 4 yet, but could be. Let's see. One of these two is a 1. Because this can't be because of that. That makes this a 1, this is a 7. Which makes this a 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 3. So this is a 9, this is 3. That makes this a 9, not a 9. Oh, not a 9 here. That makes that an 8 or a 1. This is an 8, this is a 4. And we end up with a 6 here. We can solve these two. 8, 6 here. That 6 there means that can't be a 6. This is. This becomes a 6, so that can't be. Still have two possibilities for a 7 here. However, we've got 4s here and here. Means this is a 4. That's not going to be a 4. This 5 here says that's not a 5, that's a 5. So now we've got a 1, which is going to go here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is going to be a 7. Yeah. All right, we'll try this again. Clear order. That was 14 minutes tied up. Really wish the counter wouldn't clear on that. On clear board. All right, one of these two is a 5. One of these two is a 5. This is a 5, so that's not, that is. One of these two becomes a 5. All right. 1s. One of these two is a 1. 2s. We've got one of these two is a 2. That would suggest that one of these two is a 2. And I've got 4 possibilities for 2 here. 3 down here. 4 possibilities for 2 here. And one of these two possibilities there. Got one of these. 3 will be a 2. All right. 3. 3 here. That means I've got 2 possible 3s here. Here we're wide open. I've got 5 possibilities. I've got 3 possibilities here. And 4 possibilities here. Okay, not a lot of useful information there. 4. This is going to be a 4. That means I've got 3 possibilities for 4 here. 4 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here and here. 5s, we got these two already and these two and everything else marked. 6s, 6 here. One of these two is going to be a 6. One of these two will be a 6. This one will be a 6. That makes this a 3, and this becomes a 7. So with the 6 there, one of these 3 will be a 6. One of these two will be a 7. Because of this 7 up here and the one we just placed down here. One of these two is a 7. We need to finish up 6s first. All right. I've got 2 places for a 6 here. 4, 5 places for a 6 here. One of these two is going to be a 6. And here I've got 6 possibilities, and 5 possibilities here. Now we can do 7s. We got those 2 possibilities there. That blocks this one. For the moment, I've got 4 possibilities there, 3 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. Looks like that's all I can do with 7. That can't be an 8, so that's going to be an 8. One of these 2 will be an 8. Up here, these 2 can't be an 8, so it's either this one or this one. And it looks like it's going to be this one. So one of these 2 is an 8. This becomes a 9. So we get a 2 and a 1. Meanwhile, back with the 8s, one of these 2 will be an 8, which means one of these 2 is an 8. Nine here and here means one of these 2 is a 9. I've got these 2 to be a 9, so that's not a 9, that is. One of these 2 is a 1. One of them is. Not. Alright, that can't be a 1. I've got 4 possibilities for a 1 there. 3 here. Over here I've got 3 possibilities. And 4 possibilities here. Alright, how about 2s? One of these 3 is a 2. One of these 3 is a 2. One of these 2. 2 and a 2 here. Over here, that can't be a 2, so one of these 2 is a 2. Okay, nope, yet. Not yet, anyway. The possibilities at 6 here. One of these 2 is a 3. And that means I've got 3 possibilities for a 6 here for the moment. That says that can't be a 6. These 2 say these 2 can't be a 6, but this is a 6. And now we can now identify one of these 2 as a 6. That makes this a 2. That's not a 2. And now we've got one of these 2 to be a 2. That narrows us down to 3 possibilities for a 6 here. But we'll see if we can tidy that up some more. All right. One of these 2 is a 3. One of these 3 is a 4. 4 possibilities for 4 here. Go back to 3s. If one of these 2 is a 3, okay, we've got a 3 here. Neither of these can be a 3, so one of these 2 is a 3. Neither of these can be 2. One of these 2 is a 2. I am zeroing this. Possible 2, not a given. That means this is possibly a 2. It was about time to start flood filling anyway, but that can't be a 2, so one of these 3 is a 2. 7 and 8. That means one of these 2 is a 4. Can't be a 4 down here. One of these 2 is a 4 here. One of these 3 is a 4. Here I've got 4 possibilities, 3 possibilities here. That can't be a 4 because of that. That can't be a 7. I've got 4 possibilities for a 6 here. Let's go ahead and drop in all the possibilities of 7 there, and here, and here. We've got 4 possibilities for 1 here. Four possibilities for 1 here. 3 possibilities for 1 here. 4 possibilities for 1 here. Put these 2 down here for 1. That says that these 2 can't be 1, but I'll remark those 3, these 4. Alright. The ones are all on the 2. 2 possibilities there. One of these 2 is a 2. One of these 3 is a 2. One of these 3 is a 2. Okay. 3. These 2 is a 3. Got a 3 here. This is a blocked. These 2 is a 3. I've got one of these 2 is a 3. Looks like I've got 4 possible 3s here. And 2 possible 3s here. Two possible 6s. No, not 6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 possible 7s. Seven, 8, 7, 8. 1. Possible 2 there. Possible 3 here. 2s and 3s here. 6 is here. Can't have a 6 here. One of these 2 will be a 5. It'll be this one. Can't be a 6 here, so that's a 6. So not a 6 in either of these. 2 and 3 are the only logical options there. So not a 2 here or here, not a 3. Besides the 4, we get 3, 6. One of these 2 is a 9. It's going to be this one, so this is a 4. And we've got a 3 and a 2 here. So this can't be a 2. That makes this a 2. 7, 1. This becomes a 3. Because one of these 2 is a 3. All right, let's undo those. We got a pair of possible 3s here. One of these two could be a 3. One of these two could be a 3. For the moment. All right, we've got not a 3 here. That makes this a 3, 7, and 5 here. All right. Not a 5 here. That makes this a 5, which is fine. Oh, 7 here says this can't be a 7. It's 8. This becomes a 7. And that makes this a 7, not one of these two. This also can't be an 8, not a 7 here. This becomes an 8. 6, 1, 4. Not a 1 here. Not a 1 here. 4 is possible there, but not a 4 here. Not a 4 here. That gets me a 4 here. This gets me a 2 here. Not a 2 here. We got a 1-8 pair here. We get a 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 here. Not a 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like this is no 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 9. So not a 9 here. This becomes a 9. Not a 4 here. This can be a 6. This can't. So this is a 6. This one can't because of this. So we've got a 7, 1 here, 7, 1, 4, 1, 4, but neither of these can be a 1. That's a 1. Also couldn't be a 7 here. So that's a 7, 4, and 3. So this becomes a 3. This becomes a 4 and a 1. Not a 3 in either of those places. We've got a 7, 1 combination here, 8, 1 combination here. We'll get a 6 here. Makes this into an 8, this into a 6, this into an 8, this into a 1, this into a 7, this into a 1, this into a 7, this into a 3, and finally, an hour and 33 plus minutes. And I will so note that. I want to say thanks to everybody who hung out with me. I hope you had a good day. I hope you have a great day the rest of today, whichever way that works for you. Have a great morning. I'm going to go see about getting some sleep. I've got some things that need to get taken care of today, and I don't have puzzles to solve at this point. I'm caught up on puzzles. Take care, everybody.